And if Disney would like to move their hundreds of thousands of jobs to South Carolina and bring the billions of dollars with them, I'll let them know. I'll be happy to meet them in South Carolina and introduce them to the governor and the legislature that would welcome it.
Hey, folks, Dale Jackson here. Today we're going to talk a little bit about how far Nikki Haley is willing to go in order to end up as a vice presidential nominee on a ticket that's going to end up losing to Joe Biden. The answer is obviously pretty far. In her first of two absurd comments made during a rampage on Fox News, Nikki Haley had some thoughts on the Disney situation that Ron DeSantis finds himself in, where he is in a fight with Disney over their wokeness, over their business practices, over their general terribleness. So what does Nikki Haley do? She gets down on her knees and she begs them to come to South Carolina, something that is never going to happen. And then she tags it at the end by referring to Ron DeSantis as sanctimonious, and so maybe Donald Trump will see her.
Haley, I want to ask you about what could be another Republican candidate in the field, and that is Ron DeSantis. We just learned a few moments ago that Disney is now suing the Florida governor for alleging political effort to hurt their business. We've all been watching this back and forth for quite some time. This is obviously dramatically escalating the feud between Disney and Ron DeSantis. They're alleging that the Republican governor has waged a, quote, relentless campaign to weaponize government power over the company. What is your reaction to that, as we still have yet to see him jump officially into the race?
You know, as governor, I took a double-digit unemployment state and I turned it into an economic powerhouse. Businesses were my partners, because if you take care of your businesses, you take care of your economy takes care of the people, and everyone wins. And so that's the way we dealt with it. South Carolina was a very anti-woke state. It still is. And if Disney would like to move their hundreds of thousands of jobs to South Carolina and bring the billions of dollars with them, I'll let them know. I'll be happy to meet them in South Carolina and introduce them to the governor and the legislature that would welcome it.
As if that wasn't bad enough, she also later on would reference Joe Biden's age. We'll come to that in a second. But just think about this. Disney has tens of thousands of employees. They have Space Mountain. They have Cinderella's Castle. They have the new Tron experience. You want me to give you more Disney things? I was on a Disney trip earlier this year, and we're supposed to believe they're going to pack all this up and have all these people leave the state of Florida. Give me a break. It is logistically impossible and incredibly stupid for Nikki Haley to be saying this stuff, and she knows it. Not only that, she's now turning her state over to Disney. Is that what she's suggesting? Do South Carolinians get a say in this? You know she's not governor anymore, right? Later on in the interview, she started talking about Joe Biden, which is probably what she should be doing anyway. And what does she do? She suggests that he might not be alive much longer.
I think there's a few issues here. You know, he's announced his, that he's running again in 2024. And I think that we can all be very clear and say with a matter of fact that if you vote for Joe Biden, you really are counting on a President Harris, because the idea that he would make it until 86 years old is not something that I think is likely. It's why I've continued to say we need to have mental competency tests up until starting at 75, just to make sure that these people deciding our national security, deciding our economic policy, deciding what happens to our kids in schools, it matters.
Nikki Haley is playing to be the VP. That is what Nikki Haley is doing here. Unfortunately, she's playing it about as stupidly as you possibly can. And yes, I did say earlier she's trying to get on a ticket that's going to end up getting crushed by Joe Biden. This is exactly the kind of nonsense you do not need to be doing right now. You need to be having a conversation about why you're in this race in the first place. Are you there to become the next president? Or are you there to help Donald Trump thwart Ron DeSantis?